Happy Friday, and welcome here to another edition of HuskerOnline Headlines. Sean Callahan, Steve Sipple, presented by Sartor Hamann Jewelers in both Lincoln and Grand Island. Also, our title sponsor, StayHome.Care. They're there for you, your loved ones, to help you with all those simple things you can't be there for. And I actually had somebody, a friend of mine, reach out to me and was curious about reaching out to StayHome.Care because they thought they had somebody that might need their services, and they are there to help you when you can't be there for those loved ones, a family member, a friend, a relative, a spouse. They help you with simple things like cleaning, cooking, laundry, meal prep, rides to doctor's appointments, whatever, simple companionship. Call them at 402-205-2233. That's 402-205-2233. That's StayHome.Care. But let's jump into it, Sip, because we got a lot to get to, and we're going to cram a lot into these opening two headlines. But we got a depth chart here on Friday. It was the first depth chart of the season, and a lot of things jump out. I want to start the discussion with the offensive line, particularly the tackle position, as they really kind of are playing it coy at this point. All of the tackles have "or" on them, yep. And being the seasoned 25-year veteran that I am, and I know you're probably, you got to wonder, do they really not know at this point who the starting tackles are going to be?
A very astute question. Well, now, let's be fair. Rule said if the season started today, that Teddy Prohaska would be the right tackle. He said that. Now, there's an "or" there. I get there's an "or" on the deal, but that was his quote. Now, the left tackle is what everybody's talking about right now because Elijah Pritchett was one of Nebraska's highest profile acquisitions from the portal this past winter. Started 12 games for Alabama last season, and he is listed in sort of, would you say like I don't know, are you calling it a dead heat type situation?
It is, but I will tell you, in the final fall camp practice, the simulation game day, he was out there as the number one left tackle, and I'm sure they rotate guys.
Right.
And we know that he was the starting left tackle in the scrimmage this past Saturday. Yeah, so he's not the starter yet, but in the reps that have kind of mattered this week, he has been. The question is, whatever could be holding things back, can that take care of itself this week?
Well, that's a big question. Now, what Matt said is, now he said he's heard speculation. This is Coach Rule talking, that off-field factors are holding back Pritchett, and he was very adamant and said it's not that, Sean, it's the performance. He said unbelievably talented, good player, but a lot of false starts, a lot of mistakes. And when you have a quarterback, and I'm just now I'm still quoting Rule, when you have a quarterback like we have, it's not about the talent, it's about the production and dependability at that position. If you block the wrong guy, I don't care how talented you are. He said, I'm not saying he's blocking the wrong guy all the time. It's just where he's at now. So he gave an explanation, which I appreciate. False starts, blocking the wrong guy. And he says it's on field.
And there's been a narrative kind of in the underground belly of the internet world that there's been off the field things. And he got in front of that and said there are no off the field things, is what he said today.
Mm-hmm. That's what he said. He said he likes Elijah very much. He says he's trying to get better. But this is an offensive line, Sean, that we've made it pretty clear. It's good, right? It's a good one.
It's a good problem to have right now.
Yeah, it's a good problem to have, but they demand accountability. And you can't, Sean, what happens? What are you going to say? Well, you'd say what I'd say. If they false start in the red zone and it costs them against Cincinnati, opening series, he jumps. You're going to be like, we've seen all that crap. You want that stuff cleaned up. I understand where Matt's coming from, where Donovan Raiola would be coming from. He's talented. He's a talented guy, but we've seen games. For instance, the Nebraska at Oklahoma game. What did that look like when Nebraska just kept jumping? I mean, it was horrifying, right?
Yeah.
Tackles kept jumping. I think a guard was jumping. I can't remember who the hell it was, but they jumped about 3 or 4 times.
The game in Norman or the game in
Lincoln? The game in Norman. Game in Norman. And you can't – see, I get it. If he's doing that, you can't put him out there.
You can't. One time's too many.
Huh? Yeah, one time
theoretically, but
yeah.
that's going to play itself out. The interior is solidified. Grant Bricks kind of moved into that number 2 right guard spot because of the Gibson Pyle thing. He's your outright
Gibson
2
Pyle
guard.
injury
Out for the season. Jason Machachok, number 2 guard behind Latoski. Sam Sledger, number 2 center behind Justin Evans. So they've got that ironed out. I wouldn't say any real surprises at receiver other than there are no oars. I mean, a pretty defined starting group. And Isaiah Hunter, Dane Key, Ja'Cory Barney. But then the second wave, the top 6, as you like to call it, Quinn Clark at a number 2, Cortez Mills at a number 2, and then a Janiron Bonner at a number 2.
No surprises whatsoever.
And then Keelan Smith and Jeremiah Jones made the depth chart. And we felt all along they had 8 that could play all 8 on that depth chart.
No surprises whatsoever at receiver. Quarterback, a little bit surprised.
Surprising because where it started. And I think we know how hard it is for a true freshman. So for TJ Lateef to elevate himself into the number 2 outright role, no or, over the veteran Jalen Gramstead tells you that. But you could see it on that open practice that we got to watch. What did I tell you right away? I go, wow, this guy's good. Like you could tell Lateef has some it factor to him, and he's clearly come on here in August.
Well, I think you'd agree he has better arm strength than Gramstead.
Mobility.
I wrote that he has better arm strength. And I kind of intimated that was the difference, but it's not. Rule made it pretty clear that the difference is what Lateef can run. Now you heard it from both Dane. It's our job, Sean, to kind of like take a deep breath sometimes. I mean, we're both always going way too fast. We have to take a deep breath and listen to what these guys say. What Holgerson said a couple weeks ago, and then what Rule said today. They really like a quarterback that can run. They like that in Lateef. You heard Dana Holgerson say he runs like when he gets going, he's like a running back. And today Matt Rule's saying, hey, separators, he runs it. He can run it. He does he's thick lowers. I mean, he looks
200 pounds.
You can see why he can run it.
He actually looks bigger than 6'1" to me. They list him at 6'1", but I mean, he looks bigger than that.
So Lateef, no or, straight number 2.
And the running back position, Sipple, no oars on that either. A simple 1, 2, 3, Emmett Johnson, Mekhi Nelson, Isaiah Mosey, then Quentin Ives.
No surprises. Zero surprise there. I did not think they'd put an or between Mekhi Nelson and Mosey. I didn't.
You just felt Nelson really.
Oh, I thought Nelson was number 2. Yeah.
Now on the defense, as we move it over to the defensive side of the ball, Williams, Winery, Cam Lenhart, carry an or, and that's a really good sign in my opinion. I think in the spring you were a little worried, like
about what?
Winery.
Yeah.
If they, didn't get a guy that was going to work out, and I think the fact that he's come on and had a better August, and now number 1, a very good sign.
Yes, what Matt Rule said, Sean, is Winery is a completely this is music to your ears. Winery is a completely different football player than when he first got here. He's a completely different football player than he was in the spring. He's getting better and better, and he's really been committed to the team and doing what the team does. See, you can't help but think when Rule says stuff like that, does that sort of apply to Pritchett? You just can't help. Doesn't your mind wonder?
Yeah, you start to connect the dots a little bit.
A little bit. It could be wrong. Could be off base. It's probably why Rule's doing a podcast to set us straight on these things. But it is great news. And we said in the spring, God, you hope Winery turns it on in August. He turned it on in August.
We didn't ask today, though, the black shirts. Well, the answers were so lengthy at times, you just kind of lost. I mean, like the captains and the black shirts, a couple of like detail things.
I don't think about the black shirts as much as you do because it's just the 11
No,
starters.
well, it would be interesting to know, like, would Winery get one and Lenhart both? I mean, anybody that's on the one line probably is going to get one, correct?
It's a good point.
But like Riley Van Poppel's a number 2.
Right. What do you do with Vincent Shavers?
So you've got a couple single digit guys that wouldn't be black shirts.
See, here's the thing about the black shirts. Are you giving 15 out then? Are you giving 16 out?
that doesn't seem like Rule's style, but yeah, Shavers has got an oar, so he'd get a black shirt. Javen Wright, no oar. That makes sense. He'd get one. Desan McCullough. You go down the line. Yeah, there's no other oar. There's only 2 oars on the defensive depth chart, so there would theoretically be
13.
Well, they have 12 positions listed. 2, 4,
12.
6, 8, 10. No, 11. I'm sorry, they have 11. 11 positions listed here. Just 4 defensive backs. Oh, never mind. I'm miscounting here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. I have 12.
So you're giving out 14 black shirts?
So there's 14 number 1 guys.
I don't know. That's why I don't. Look. It is a tradition at Nebraska. It's an important one, but you can't win in that discussion. You're not giving one to Vincent Shavers.
Yeah,
he's not listed as a 1 technically.
But yeah, you have Van Poppel as a 2. Somewhat of a surprise.
So see what I mean?
But
Van Poppel has a single digit. You're not giving him a black shirt,
and Judy doesn't.
That'd be really weird, right?
So there's some complicated things on that defense. I could almost see Van Poppel, though. Judy struggles. He could be a guy that jumps to the 1 spot.
Yeah, for sure.
And then Jalen George on the depth chart. Keona Davis, outright starter. Love Keona Davis.
Yep.
The jack position, Sipple. Desan McCullough, number 1. Willis McGahee, not number 2. Jordan Ochoa, the walk-on.
Wow.
The walk-on.
Redshirt freshman walk-on Jordan Ochoa
is the outright 2.
It's one of the top 3 things I noticed on this.
You've been an Ochoa guy since Fordham.
We got to give Robin credit. Remember, we're sitting there at Fordham in the stands, and Robin says, "Who's this guy?" And I don't know if I think he was wearing 94. He's like, "Who's this? Who's Ochoa?" And I'm like, "Why are you asking me this question?" And he says, "Because he looks like a dude." Robin ferreted that out.
Sniffed that one out.
Yeah, he sniffed that one out. Ochoa. There's a couple things we sniffed out at Fordham. I kind of sniffed out Makai Nelson. I was like, wait a second. That dude's got a gear now. I mean, he can roll. He gets going fast. But anyway, yeah, Ochoa, sorry to hijack that. Ochoa was a revelation on this. I just wonder, where's McGahee now? Probably not that far off at all. Right?
Yeah, I think you're going to see those guys all play, but let's be clear. I think McCullough is your outright guy there. That's the guy they brought in.
Yep.
As a senior, a veteran,
paid a lot of money
to pay the goal. But yeah, he was a big acquisition,
right? And
he's a veteran football player,
right?
And he's a senior, so it's not surprising at all that he's the outright guy.
No, not at all.
You move down the line. Dawson Merritt below Jacob Bauer kind of maybe caught my attention a little bit.
I know it did.
Well, I think Merritt's going to be a better player, like long term.
Eventually, yeah.
And we'll see how that plays out over time. But Merritt on the depth chart. In the secondary, no real surprises. I think we've known these 5 starters since the spring.
Mm-hmm.
But they love Rex Guthrie as that backup rover.
Stop right there. Rule today says Guthrie would start on other Big Ten teams. Rex Guthrie. I think that's what he said.
Out of Colorado.
He'd start on other, let's just say, college teams. I have to go back over the tape. But, yeah, Rex Guthrie is a bit of a revelation.
You need some cranium, buddy.
No, I'm fine. Thanks.
The Splenda got you. You better cross it up with some cranium.
I'm fine.
I drank a cranium earlier this morning, so I'm not having one right now.
Yeah, there's a lot going on. Sure.
Our heads are spinning.
Right.
But yeah, Guthrie, you're outright 2. Donovan Jones kind of appears to be your 3rd corner right now, along with Jeremiah Charles, those 2 guys. But I do think Hartstug, Jameer Khan, they can play corner. Caleb Benning locked in as that number 2 safety behind Marquise Buford. Mari Sanders, I thought, was a guy that might have a shot at being a 2. He comes in as 3rd on the depth chart.
He does. He probably does have a shot at being 2, though. I think with a lot of these placements, a lot of them, not all of them. I'm not going to say all of them, but a lot of them. There's not much that separates these players. That's how you got to, Sean. That's where you would hope your inside knowledge and your experience comes in to recognize at certain spots. For instance, there's okay, at certain spots there's not a big separation. For instance, Judy Van Poppel. There can't be much separation there, right? Now, on the other hand, Latovsky, Shake Shack, probably pretty big separation, right?
Sear Wright, Jeremiah Charles,
Probably
separation.
big separation.
Andrew Marshall, Donovan Jones, big. I think Jones is good, but I think there's big separation there.
Right. So there are certain positions you look at, and there's not much separation at all. Now there's certain ones that you can see separation, like Singleton Guthrie. There's significant separation there. Rule has said Singleton. What hasn't he said that could be a third rounder? Like, is that sort of talent? Nobody's saying that about Guthrie right now. Right?
No, well, I think that's I don't know if Singleton's that high of a draft pick. I mean, how
about 4 or 5?
I have a hard. I mean, Fedoni didn't go that high, and so I'll believe it when I'm really skeptical on like draft projections because there's a lot of good players, and it's hard to get drafted that high. And I don't just throw that out there.
I respect that.
And especially the draft doesn't like the older guys anymore.
True.
They want younger, non-COVID year guys.
Right.
I mean,
okay, what about kicker? What was your read on that?
I think they know what they're going to do. They just are kind of keeping it quiet. It's going to, I would be pretty surprised if it's not Cunanan.
Same.
I mean, I just think that's the guy. But by the way, I think we've crammed 2 or 3 headlines into one here. Like, I don't know why we just didn't do 2 headlines on this. Like,
well, there's a lot.
You insisted on the Cincinnati headline. Well, we just did like the whole team breakdown in headline 1 year.
That's okay.
But a lot, yeah. It was good to get a depth chart, just to have something to look at.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. All right. Well, a lot to cover here. Again,
I did not insist on a Cincinnati deadline. I suggested it.
We got HuskerOnline headlines. Brought to you by our title sponsor, StayHome.Care. Call them, learn more about what they can do for you, your loved ones, and your family. We're also brought to you by Sartor Hamann Jewelry, home of the one-of-a-kind handcrafted Husker jewelry featuring our 14-karat gold corncob earrings and pendants made by hand in the master jeweler shop using real gold and emeralds for the Leafs. These are limited in supply. It'd be great for your wife or girlfriend on game day as a present heading into this great football season. They also have the Nebraska State pendants featuring the outline of the great state of Nebraska with a ruby in the place where Lincoln is on the map. Be the talk of the tailgate with your unique one-of-a-kind Husker jewelry. We sell out of these every season, so make sure you get your orders in now. You mentioned HuskerOnline. Our buddy Rick Heyman's going to give you 10% off. It's HuskerOnline and lowercase online. The promo code. You'll get 10% off that order at Sartor Hamann. Sartor Hamann Jewelers, a Nebraska tradition as famous as the Cornhuskers. 120 years of excellence, 4 generations of family. Don't mess around with the rest. Come to the best. Sartor Hamann Jewelers, Lincoln and Grand Island, online at SartorHamann.com. When only the best will do. Sartor Hamann Jewelers. All right. Thanks, Rick. And our sponsor there, Sartor Hamann. It was great to see Rick. We didn't even get in this. Our show, we didn't even talk about it, Sid, but how about the show Wednesday night?
Yeah, I was kind of surprised you didn't mention it.
Well, I was so worried about the phone book opening headline there where we had to go through the whole roster.
I was surprised. Thanks to all the fans, all the people that showed up. That is at Zipline on Wednesday night.
Fallbrook.
Yeah, in Fallbrook. It was a huge show of support. And we appreciate it. I mean, it's nice to walk into that, Oh,
it's amazing. I mean, 350 to 400 people, and that is sales data number. That's not just me BSing the number. They have, they have every head count that comes in based on food and drink purchase.
Mm-hmm.
So it was a full house. Probably last year we had a similar type of crowd, but they weren't prepared for it. This year we were, and they had great space. Everyone had a blast, and I'll tell you, it was a lot of fun after the show, just to visit and meet so many of the great fans.
Yeah, they're what always strikes me is how intelligent these fans are. I don't want to come off as pandering, but they almost seems like they know as much as you do. You do, not I. They have so much knowledge, and they pay very close attention, Sean. So they hear your jabs at me. They hear them. They hear your jabs.
I mean, hey, You better pick it up. It's Friday, buddy. Get your butt going. You're not, that cranium needs to kick in.
Well, I'm fine, thank you.
Just seemed a little Friday.
Do I?
Yeah, I could tell.
Really?
Hey, but we've worked hard. It's been a long week.
I feel good.
I was in Omaha all day yesterday on my birthday, by the way.
Oh yeah, happy birthday, 45.
Got home at about midnight.
Jeez.
About 11.
Prowling around at night.
No, speaking for our great friend at Gilmore Shriners.
I know. 45, is that right?
45 big ones. But no, thanks again to everybody that came out to Zipline. We will have a bye-week show on the Wednesday following the Michigan game. Location to be determined.
Oh, we're not back out there.
Probably back out there, but I don't want to say that until we get the go ahead. It will be at a Zipline location.
That's a great venue.
But I think my suggestion would be have it on the patio again.
It's a great venue.
Because if for some reason Nebraska's 4-0,
they
might have to block the streets off for this thing.
That's a great. I love that venue out there.
And I had one of the smash burgers. Let me tell you, excellent.
Really? And you are a foodie, Sean.
You didn't have time to even eat.
Not really.
I didn't have time to go to the restroom even. I mean,
too much information.
I couldn't even get up out of the area. It was just packed.
A lot of people. That's what you want. That's what you want.
A little too much information for you, buddy.
Okay.
You get 3 new Roblox shirts in a week and you just
turn into a haughty idiot.
You get a couple fancy shirts and all of a sudden you become.
Did you like this one?
Yeah, it's a good one. It's a good look. Is that moose tooth they call that? Or
I'm not sure what they call it. I'm not sure.
All right. We're going to get in trouble here.
Yeah, you are.
Headline number 2, as we move it forward, finally some Cincinnati talk. Finally, as we move forward, and
I'm serious about
there's
that.
not a lot of talk about Cincinnati from the fan base, but this is a good football team with a veteran quarterback who weighs 235 pounds, by the way.
Yeah. Okay, first of all, I said on the show the other night that it's Brendan Sorsby you're talking about, 6'3", 235. I talked to one of the radio guys on my other show, and he is their ESPN guy. He'd be the, I don't know, he's a big time guy in Cincinnati, and he said that he knows nobody from Cincinnati, from the city of Cincinnati, that's going to the game. He knows nobody. So there's not that much buzz from that side. There hasn't been much buzz from this side about Cincinnati. I mean, I think people kind of are starting to get an idea of what you're dealing with here. I think the biggest thing, Sean, is Sorsby. You know that the coach wants to run the ball. We probably haven't emphasized that they have 2 former Big Ten running backs, Evan Pryor out of Ohio State and Tawi Walker out of Wisconsin. And then, everybody doesn't anybody know about Roy? Doesn't everybody know about Royer?
The tight end.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's an NFL player. And I mean, the veteran quarterback, he's an all Big 10 level tight end, or all Big 12, excuse me. All Big 12.
Yeah. He is an all Big. He's been all Big 12. Corleone, I think most people know about him. Their nose tackle.
The Godfather.
The Godfather. If they don't know about him, just watch the first series. He'll be a bear in there.
That matchup with Justin Evans and him, you got to think they have a plan already where, there's going to be double teams and help, because you can't just assume that in his first collegiate start at center that Justin Evans is ready for the best nose tackle in the Big Ten.
So he's got, the good news is he's got those 2 bears on either side of him. Bears, big, gnarly bears, Brocco Spindler and Henry Lutovsky.
And I'm sure those guys, being competitors, all are excited for this.
No doubt about it. No doubt about it.
I mean, when you got a chance to go against a great player like this, you want to make a name for yourself.
100%. Rule did. He talked in depth about Cincinnati today. He did say that Satterfield's a good offensive coach, that since he is in a hotbed of football in Ohio, I thought it was telling. He said, Nebraska doesn't have a quarterback like Sorsby, Sean. So it's hard to get a great look at him in practice. They don't have a guy that's 6'2", 235 and runs it like Sorsby, right?
No. I mean, and how do you simulate that in practice?
Right.
And you almost need Heinrich Harburg to play quarterback or something. Just have a guy like him. But Kind of reminds me a little bit of that Indiana guy, Rourke.
Yeah, Patrick Rourke
last year, just a bigger physical guy that can run, can cause you some problems. He's going to be hard to bring down.
Mm-hmm.
And I do think Cincinnati is going to run it at Nebraska to really test the teeth of this Husker defense.
Yeah, and Rule said, I mean, he talked, Matt talks really fast and you got to listen very close. But for the first time, really, he kind of said something that's fairly obvious, but I don't think people think about much. It's not a very big Nebraska defensive line. He says it's a smaller defensive line. You're right about the cranium. Nebraska has a smaller defensive line. When they go out there, it's not. I noticed it when we were at that camp in Omaha, and some of those guys were out there. Keona Davis, Cam Lenhart, remember that? Not very big. I mean, those guys they're great looking athletes. They're not very big.
Well, who are the inside guys though?
Versus Judy,
Van
Popple's got size.
Jalen George,
not very big. George not very
295
big.
now.
Yeah, I mean,
but yeah, you don't have like the 335,
right.
315 type guys.
Right. I mean, if you're using 295 as a big, that's not very big by Big Ten standards. So now on the other side, Cincinnati, here's what Rule said. He said, this will be as formidable a front seven as we're going to see. And he did mention that since he plays a difficult scheme that will test Nebraska's tight ends, I mean, they're kind of the blocking assignments probably won't be too easy, A lot to think about in this game. Rule has a lot to think about.
Yeah, it's you think about other openers in the past, Illinois on the road, Northwestern and Ireland. Nebraska was a bigger favorite in those two games than they are in this game.
Yeah.
I mean, and I think this is a better Nebraska team than what those teams were.
Mm-hmm.
So it does put in perspective, maybe, like Cincinnati's a formidable team, and we knew that going in. And, when you go back to some of those openers against other Power Fours, I mean, Illinois and Northwestern were teams that we also expected Nebraska to beat, and they lost those games. So it is so important to get off to a good start in this game and not really allow, Cincinnati to have the confidence to make this a 4-quarter game.
Oh, Sean, I love these conversations because I think back at some of the stuff Rule said today. He said that they believe since Nebraska sincerely believes it's a very good team. And he just wants them to go show it. Now, and you have told me that people around the team have this feeling. This team has a feeling that it's good. They seem very confident. Well, what would a loss do? How much would it damage that? What we're hearing? I don't know. That's one thing that comes to mind. Also, what comes to mind is Cincinnati. Yeah, they were good last year, but 5-7. They were 5-2. They did beat Arizona State.
Jeff Sims was the quarterback.
Started the quarterback that game. Jeff Sims for Arizona State. You're right. But then since he lost their last 5 games, what I've heard is Sorsby somehow he got a little gun shy and wouldn't throw it downfield much. That was part of the issue.
Can you get in his head early?
Yeah, maybe.
Make him think about it. The crowd noise too. I
think, huge.
I think we're all underselling what that's going to be, because it will be the loudest home environment Nebraska's had. It's way louder than Memorial Stadium. Way louder.
That could be a huge boost to Nebraska's defense.
And I've said this all week. This is a different type of crowd than your traditional home game crowd. Your traditional home game crowd, East and West Stadium, are full of older, kind of long-time ticket holders or corporate seats. This is going to be like, who wants to buy the tickets can sit here. So you're going to get kind of a more rowdy bunch of
100.
people. Kind of like in basketball when they go to Sioux Falls and play. Totally different type of crowd at those games than what you get in PBA, because there's no hierarchy on who gets the tickets.
I think it's a huge factor, and you've said it. You wrote it, and it really caught my attention recently when you wrote that talk about something that could really help that defense is that noise. That could really not only galvanize the defense, but also get Cincinnati trying to – I mean, come on. It's hard to call plays in that den, in the den of a stadium. That could have a huge impact for Nebraska.
The headset deal?
Yes, it's hard.
If you're Williams Nwaneri, Desan McCullough, some of these guys from Kansas City, I mean, if you can't get jacked up for that, I mean,
jacked up.
for them to be at Arrowhead,
They'll be jacked.
I mean, it's going to be, yeah.
I mean, my concern, Sean, would be too jacked up.
Yeah. Don't give them any cranium. It's slowly kicking in.
Oh, I was fine earlier. Thank you very much, Sean.
Right. Before taking to headline number 3, again, are brought to you by StayHome.Care.
Yeah.
Call them at 402-205-2233 to learn about what they can do for you, your family, your loved ones. We're also brought to you by Chubbies. And Simple and I and Robin, we got our what was the team you got? What was your Chubbies shirt?
The Raiders.
I got a Chiefs shirt, but they have an unbelievable line of NFL apparel, great specials, great deals here on the ChubbiesShorts.com website. And, you know, they get you all hooked up with everything you need for the NFL season, the upcoming football season, just fun stuff, comfortable clothes, fun things to wear with your favorite NFL teams on there. And you'll now know Sipple's a big time Raiders fan.
Well, I've tried to sort of rekindle a love for the Raiders that started when I was a boy. And if people don't believe me, I could name basically the starting lineup. Stabler, Blitnikoff, Branch,
Art
Van
Shell.
Egan, Shell, on down the line. But anyway, Casper.
You got a lot of compliments on this shirt, by the way.
Yeah, people love this shirt.
I mean,
mine's not as ostentatious as your.
The Chiefs one, I like it, but it's
loud.
It's loud.
See, the Raiders one's not so loud because it's black and silver and white, so it's not that loud. It's just sweet.
All right, well, go to their website, ChubbiesShorts.com/Husker. The promo code Husker will get you $10 off your order. Give it a try. ChubbiesShorts.com/Husker. The promo code is Husker. Thanks again to Chubbies for sponsoring us here on HuskerOnline Headlines. All right, headline number 3, and you know I'm happy about this one. The SEC will play 9 conference games in 2026. Count them, big boy. 9. And
like this.
The ACC has to figure out now how they're going to do it. It's harder for them because they have an odd number of teams. So they have to figure out if they do this, how they do it. But we will get 9 game schedules, 3 permanent opponents, then 6 rotating opponents in the SEC.
Okay, so it's definitely, it's kind of it's a win for you. Now, how do you feel about the 5+11 playoff model, which is 5 automatic bids to the highest ranked conference champions plus 11 at large? That is not what Petiti wants, or that's what he's expressed, right?
Well, I guess now, yeah.
You got to go to that though, right?
5+11, I think the auto bid appears to be dead, but if you're the Big 12 in the ACC, it probably means you'll have less bids now.
I don't know that. You don't know that.
There's not going to be very many years where they'd get 3 or 4 bids.
Well, in the
they might get 1 bid some years.
In the bid apparently that you favor, it's a 4-4-2-2-1 model where the Big 10 gets 4 would get 4 autos, the SEC 4 autos, 2 autos for both the ACC and Big 12, and then one to the highest ranked group of 6 champion. Sean, I'm not going to get an argument with you about this because I'm not that passionate about.
Well, and there are 2 at-large bids too.
There's 2 at-large bids to get you 16. I like the 5+11. What's your reservation with it?
I'm not as worried now. Yeah, now that the scheduling is equal, like you're not going to be able to fool people because I do think you'll learn a lot more about SEC teams with that 9th game. I think
exactly
you can't hide behind a November Citadel game.
Right. No, it's right. See, I guess you'd say even the playing field.
And the money. For them, the money. Like the Big Ten's making a lot more money than the SEC, and a lot of it is because they play the extra conference game.
And now, you're exactly right. Now, the SEC benefits financially from this move.
And if you're the SEC, there's ego in this. Like it had to bother them that they were making like $10 million less per team than the Big Ten.
Right.
Because they fancy themselves as the greatest football league on the planet, but they don't pay their teams the most.
Which is probably why Sankey did push for this. The presidents, we should be clear, the presidents voted on it. The university presidents voted for this, but it was Greg Sankey, the commissioner, who pushed it.
The coaches, though, were against it at one point.
Well, because it makes their life much more
A
difficult.
lot more guys will probably lose their jobs now.
Yeah, it's yeah.
Well,
I don't know that. I mean, I don't like to. I don't because of the way college football is now. It's hard to buy out guys that have those huge contracts.
But we know what 9 games did to Nebraska. Like, when did this bowl slide start with 9-game league schedules? Because you couldn't kind of pad an additional win. How many times did Nebraska fall short at 5?
Right.
A lot.
Right. Exactly. Yeah, exactly. So I'm with you. I'm glad that it's even now. Now then there's this sort of sub headline, I guess, that the college football playoff announced Wednesday it would enhance the tools that the selection committee uses to assess schedule strength and how teams perform against their schedule. They added an additional metric. Did you see that? It's called record strength, not strength of schedule. It's record strength.
Your opponent's records?
I'll explain it to you. It's been added to the selection committee's analysis to go beyond a team's schedule strength. The metric rewards teams defeating high-quality opponents, okay, while minimizing the penalty for losing to high-quality opponents. Does that make sense? It rewards teams for defeating high-quality opponents, minimizes the penalty for losing to them. Conversely, these changes will provide a minimal reward for defeating a low-quality opponent, okay, while imposing a greater penalty for losing to such a team. Critical metric.
Now, will be all leagues or just SEC?
No, all leagues. This is the college football playoff committee. College football, it's the CFP's new metric.
And I will say this, it does make you want to revisit Nebraska dropping Tennessee.
I was wondering if you go there.
Because the stadium thing that they canceled the game for is not happening right now.
Right. But I'm not going to be overly critical of Nebraska in this case because these things, the landscape shifts.
Oh, yeah.
Like you make these decisions like that. And then on August 27th or whatever the hell it was yesterday, this comes out. Like, who anticipated it? Did you anticipate this?
But this is not going to happen. But could they say, hey, our stadium's on hold. This is happening. Let's play. I mean,
Tennessee,
Nebraska. Like,
I wonder. That's not a bad question.
I don't think it's going to happen, but like they could.
Right.
I mean,
this landscape shifted.
Unless something happens with the stadium that we don't know or how it's still going. I mean, it still could be on. I don't know. Like, but they use the stadium and then that 8-game thing as one of the reasons why. Well, it's all now it's all not a factor anymore.
Interesting. Yeah. Could they just go back to Tennessee? All right, let's do this.
Yeah. And
I think it would make sense to do it.
I think Danny White's comments, though, kind of really make it hard for Dannon to want to get him on the phone.
Okay. Well, here's my question to you. You I see you as sort of a pseudo AD. Do you try to get a Power 4 opponent in here in 20?
You'd have to cancel someone that you've already contracted, though.
Yeah, you can't do that.
So, and that would cost you money.
Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, I don't blame anybody. It's just that's the nature of college football. The changes are happening all the time. You're trying to make the right decisions, and then boom, something happens.
Boy, Signetti's comments from Big Ten Media Days, too. You kind of wonder if that fueled some of it, too, when he took a shot and just said, we just adopted the SEC schedule model.
You wonder a little bit. You do wonder a little bit if that pushed some guys towards this.
Well, it angered those guys.
Yeah. Yeah.
But he wasn't wrong. Like when they were only playing 8 Power 4 games and then maybe 1 non-con game, they're playing 9, and a Big Ten team like Indiana is still playing 9.
Right.
So his thing was, why would I play 10 when they're playing 9? And I'm battling for the same playoff spot with them.
Wow. I mean, this was a
war.
It was a war, but this is monster news that the SEC has made this colossal change after how many years, Sean, of 8? I think it was 33 years of 8. Let's see. Since here, the SEC's move to 9 games was a surprise. Since splitting into 2 6-team divisions in 1992, the SEC had played 8 conference games for 33 years. Huge. This is a huge shift.
The Big Ten was the only one along with the Pac-12 that went to 9. And you can argue that it was part of the piece that helped destroy the Pac-12 because they all kind of beat each other up, and there was not really always a great team some years,
Right?
And because they'd be 10-2 with and that's going to happen in the SEC, and that will be the challenge of the committee.
Mm-hmm.
How do you judge the SEC when there's going to be way more 8-4 and 9-3 that you have to consider?
Right. Yeah.
Whew. And there's going to be good 7-5 teams too.
Yep, there is. It's
going
to be interesting
with the SEC. But
final thing on this, you always mentioned that the Big Ten's won the last 2 national championships. The SEC has won 15 of the last 19.
I'm just going off the last 2 years because the portal and the NIL era has changed the game.
Uh-huh.
The SEC teams can't stash the players, and guess who's got a lot of money? Some of these Big Ten programs like Oregon and Ohio State, Michigan, they have deep elite booster pockets.
It's spread out. Even a team like Texas Tech affects that conversation.
So it's a different game than what those 15 years before was playing.
Got you going, big horse.
No, but you call me a Big Ten. No, they won the last 2 national titles and they dominated the bowl season last year.
Okay. You're all lathered up. It's like you're in the stall kicking, wanting to race.
You're Mr. SEC. You forget who pays your bills, the Big Ten. You get a new shirt, you come in here, drink a cranium. You need to minimize your cranium intake. I'm cutting you off. All right. Before we go to headline number 4, brought to you by StayHome.Care. Call them at 402-205-2233. Learn more about them, what they can do for you, your family, your loved ones. Also by HelloFresh.
HelloFresh.
Kids are back in school. Activities are in full swing. We're in football season. You don't have time. I literally don't even have time to go to the grocery store, cook.
Hard to do.
Well, they kind of do a lot of it for you. They have over 100 options a week. You pick from them whatever kind of food you want, whatever you want, spicy, you want kind of steak stuff, chicken stuff, whatever the flavor you're searching for, they have that option. They send it all to your house with recipe cards and ready to go produce, the meats, everything's there. And you can cook these meals in 15, 20 minutes. It's really, really simple. And you're not going to waste food either with HelloFresh. They give you enough for 2 people, 4 people. You order the exact number you need at HelloFresh. So it's a good way not only to eat smart, eat right, but eat good. I mean, eat good food. And we've got a great deal with HelloFresh. We've loved HelloFresh being able to make these meals. Go to HelloFresh.com/Husker10FM. That's HelloFresh.com/Husker10FM. You'll get 10 free meals plus a free item for life with your order. Again, that's HelloFresh.com/Husker10FM. Thanks again to HelloFresh for sponsoring us here on the Husker Online Headline Show. But all right, kind of an emotional day here, Sip. It's our last Flashback Friday until the offseason.
I'm not overly emotional, but that's fine. Are you emotional today?
No, but the challenge moving forward next year is to come up with good flashbacks, and I mean good ones.
We will do it.
We will. We get great suggestions.
Right.
But Flashback Friday, this is year 15 in the Big Ten.
Mm-hmm.
And I think about it like this. Nebraska was in the Big 12 for only 15 years. Now they're in the Big Ten for a 15th year. Doesn't it seem like to you that those Big 12 years felt like way longer? Where these 15 years in the Big Ten have just flown by?
Yeah, I don't know if that's because we're getting old. It could be just because we're getting older. This is Flashback Friday. It's going to be very reflective in nature, right?
Year 15 of the Big Ten.
Yeah, we're sort of reflecting on 15 years in the Big Ten, and I look at there's 2 separate conversations. It's been sort of a disaster on the field.
Football.
Yeah. Football, and that's what we cover. And that's, come on, football is what drives everything.
Yeah. You keep like, well, what about bowling? You can't get into like the obscure.
No, you can't. This is largely a football conversation, and it's been a disaster. They've played for 1 Big Ten title, and what happened? It was a disaster. It was 70-31.
I would say their best bowl games were, 2 Capital One Bowl appearances, lost them both. And then they played in 1 Gator Bowl as a Big Ten member.
Right. So I hate to say it, but on the bright side, as you like to point out, and it's true, Nebraska's in the right neighborhood. They are in the neighborhood you need to be in, and that trumps everything.
It's been a humbling 15 years, though, because I think Nebraska kind of moved into this neighborhood thinking that they were fit to kind of be what they've always been. And there's been things off the field with coaching changes and administrative changes and other things that have happened that have just held this program back, as we've talked about a lot over the years.
Yeah. And if you even just go way far back, and we have talked about this, but we're reflecting again, I do give Pelini credit in this conversation because, okay, so Bo's a very intelligent individual. His behind the scenes message when all of this started bubbling up that Nebraska was thinking about heading to the Big Ten, there was wheels starting to turn. Oh, okay, Nebraska's going. There's just a lot of excitement. There's a lot of anticipation, but always, I told you, behind the scenes, Bo Pelini was saying, we're not ready for this. We don't have a Big Ten roster. We're not built for this. We're built to play in the Big 12, which was what? More wide open. Nebraska didn't have linebackers, big linebackers.
Well, and they were the Ohio State, Michigan of the Big 12, like that type of team where, let's say it. I mean, those teams in the Big 10, Penn State, Ohio State, Michigan, have bigger stadiums. They have more people, bigger fan bases, really, because of their population. It's just the advantages Nebraska had in the other league were not advantages really anymore for them.
Right. But you had to make the move.
You had to make the move. And no one's saying, but then some of the political infighting and things that happened off the field also, I think some of the leaders here took winning for granted. And they thought that, hey, we can do it this way or that way. It won't matter. We're Nebraska. We'll win.
It really gets complicated. It really gets complicated because of Perlman. I mean, you got to give Perlman. I was going to say you got to give Perlman credit for Nebraska getting into the Big Ten. But did you notice when Troy Dannon spoke recently? He didn't give Perlman any credit. He gave Osborne credit. Maybe he just. Did you notice that?
Yeah.
I don't know if it was him, if he just didn't remember or wasn't aware, but it was Perlman Osborne. But I was glad he didn't give Perlman credit, because when you say Nebraska just thought it could win, I've never been convinced that Perlman wanted to win. You'd have a hard time convincing me of that.
He was more interested in the academic.
Right.
Well, then how did the Big Ten fire back when they got us in this league?
They took you out of
they took him out of the club, the AAU.
The AAU.
And it was Michigan and Wisconsin and Texas that evidently drove the vote, where Nebraska is the only team in history to be kicked out of the AAU.
So then you have this situation where you're not winning very much, not enough. And you also get kicked out of the AAU.
You get your pants pulled down on the academic side,
so to speak. And you're not a great, okay, now, Sean, you're smart. You can take me on. I don't regard it as a great cultural fit. You go to we
dealt with it during COVID. Like, just
don't do this.
The views about playing football here, practicing, and doing things were different.
That's fair.
Than the other states in the Big Ten.
Fair.
They were different than Michigan.
Right.
Iowa,
way different.
They were different. Ohio was on board, but Pennsylvania, Michigan. I mean, some of these states. New Jersey, Minnesota,
Wisconsin.
Things weren't happening. I mean,
way different views. And it was, and you know this too. I know it intimately. That it was hot behind the scenes. Hot. I mean, Moose. It was really hot on those conference calls. I mean, you talk about a cultural difference and people opposing one another. Those COVID conference calls with ADs, woo, and probably head coaches, but I know with the ADs, it was. I mean, it was just heated. It was really heated. So, really heated.
It just politics kind of took over common sense.
I guess. I mean, I don't. Yeah.
I mean, because
Nebraska wanted to play is what we're talking about, right?
And they did, and Ohio State did too.
Yeah,
But
Ohio State was not as forceful, I don't think, as Nebraska.
The other states, though, were so handcuffed, or the other schools were handcuffed by their state's politics.
Mhm.
Like they just couldn't do it. I mean,
yeah.
Like
and where did the commissioner stand?
And he was on board with not doing it. I
Right.
mean, he wanted to be kind of this hero that canceled it all and saved everybody, and it didn't work out. I mean, like
damn near did.
Well, it took the SEC and then Notre Dame joining with the ACC when those two leagues decided to play.
Mm-hmm.
Can you imagine where would the Big Ten be though if they didn't play that season? Like,
don't know.
I mean, and they tried to. And Urban Meyer even came out and said if they would have done that spring thing, it would have been a disaster.
A spring season.
Well, remember they were talking about these like dome sites in the winter?
God, yes.
And we were going to go to like Minneapolis and Detroit.
Oh, it was getting weird.
And you would stay up there and cover games in the dome.
I think that, Sean, I mean, we were covering that and we knew a lot. We knew a lot because we knew, our sources and all that. I think the general fan, you correct me if I'm wrong, would be shocked if they knew everything that was going on. Shocked. It was Weirdsville.
But yeah, of the 15 years in the Big Ten, that was a significant year.
Yeah, it was.
And it changed a lot.
Do you remember too, back then, it kind of bubbled up that Nebraska might be looking at the Big 12?
I think some overture. So I will tell you this. This is when Texas and Oklahoma still were in the Big 12. I mean, there was smoke that like BYU, Nebraska, and there's even going to be like a move to try to get Arkansas and A&M to come back and like kind of make the Big 12 better. And there was just a lot of that type of smoke going on out there, but it obviously never got off the ground.
No, I mean, the thing I say a lot, and I believe it to my core, is that Nebraska was a much better cultural fit, just a better feel in the Big 12.
Well, and remember the professors had like a petition, and they signed, they got wind of it. And that they could try to leave the Big Ten to go back to the Big 12, and they all signed the petition against it.
Right. Academia doesn't, they want the Big Ten. They should.
Right.
They should. It's more prestigious institutions. And I recognize that. And I regard that as being favorable to Nebraska. I think that's good. So that's kind of where we are. I don't know. There's just this clear line where it's been really rough for football, but good for academia.
What's your favorite Big Ten road trip?
I know nobody agrees with me on this. Michigan.
Yeah, it's a good trip.
I love going to the Big House.
Now you turned down going to the Chop House Steakhouse with us.
I don't know what was going. I don't know.
You went to a Mexican restaurant near the Detroit airport.
That was one of the worst decisions I've ever made in my life.
Yeah, and Robin and I,
there's been a lot of bad
ones. We ran into like Taylor Lewan and Will Compton.
Yeah,
I mean,
and I went to a Mexican restaurant where they thought I was a policeman because I'm sure they did the way they were looking at me, because they had their liquor license revoked, and it was tense. And I went in there, it was in a little rough neighborhood, and that I sat down and ordered a margarita. Our liquor license is revoked. They probably thought I was testing them, right? It was a bad vibe. I was getting a bad vibe in that place. So not only the food was horrific. I mean, I could have made it better than that.
They probably thought I didn't want to say what they might have done to your food.
Well, it came out of there okay. So
my favorite is Wisconsin.
I was just gonna. Wow, that surprises me.
I just love the vibe in Madison, and like just
really
the bars and the restaurants, and we stay downtown if we can, and so you're able to walk everywhere. And you stayed with us last time we were there, that DoubleTree.
It's really nice,
and it was awesome.
But it's not. The crowds haven't been very exciting.
They were early on.
But the last
two times we've been there, it's been opening
deer
hunting season.
Yeah, rifle hunting deer.
And that's a real thing.
Rifle hunting deer season, yeah. Oh, it's a real thing. Yeah, it holds down the crowd.
And one of the Uber drivers we had, he's like, yeah, I actually leave for the weekend and go up to the Dells and drive because all the wives of the deer hunters go to the Dells, like this big women's weekend, and like Thunder from Down Under and all these dancers come out there. And
Boy, you are very bizarre.
no,
being.
That fascinating. Like, and
yes,
if you wore that shirt out to the Dells on that weekend, Simple, you might.
Okay, Sean,
you might be in good luck.
What's wrong with you? What is wrong with you? Anyway, good discussion on
15 years.
15 years. Now, you just hope that Nebraska's on the trajectory where they join the bigs, Ohio State, Penn State, Oregon, Michigan. You want Nebraska to move into that realm, right? USC's going to try hard to get there. They should be there. They're USC. Nebraska do you look at it kind of like Nebraska, USC are kind of racing each other a little bit?
Yeah, I mean, USC does have more money though. They have
everything.
They have more boosters and supporters.
What doesn't USC have?
I would say their area of where their campuses is not great, but their campus itself is pristine. But
their area where their campuses is also surrounded by what? Talent, skill talent, every talent. Right? All talent, line talent, all talent.
Yeah, it's if you get an opportunity to go to school there, it's one of the hardest schools to get into.
It costs $89,000 a year to go to USC.
I had my neighbor girl, that was her dream school, and I think she got a 35 on her ACT, couldn't get in there.
Wow.
And she's going to Duke. So I mean, that's how hard it is to get into USC. She can get into Duke.
Okay. Well, is that a problem?
What?
For the football program?
No, but for the football pro, it's a selling point. Because they can get you in.
Oh, okay.
You know, it's a hard. I mean, I don't think a lot of people realize how hard. That's why all those celebrities' daughters were saying they were part of the rowing team,
right?
So they could get in there.
Yeah, and then got in trouble and got thrown in
because they're
the pokey.
There are people getting paid off to create walk-on rowers.
Wow, these conversations go
where
places.
The hell? What are we doing?
I don't, Sean. They go places sometimes where I never would have dreamed they would go. The Thunder Down Under today.
Dells. Well, our Uber driver's like, yeah, I'm heading to the Dells because it's deer hunting weekend. Right. I caught my attention. I've never been to the Dells. All right. Again, headline 5 before we get there, we're brought to you by StayHome.Care. Call them at 402-205-2233 to learn more about them, the services they can offer for you or your loved ones. We're also brought to you by Billings Group. They're a trio of financial advisors made up of Lance and his 2 sons-in-law, Josh and Nate. They're based in lovely Salina, and they help clients across the Midwest and beyond make smart, confident decisions about their money. From your first real paycheck to your final retirement party, Billings Group is here to help walk you through the highs and the lows. Billings Group, financial advisors by your side for life's journey. Visit them at billingsgroup.com. Securities offered by registered representatives through Client Private Services, member FINRA SIPC. Advisory services offered by investment advisory representatives through RFG Advisory, registered representative, RFG Advisory, Billings Group, and Private Client Services are unaffiliated entities.
Stuck the landing.
Kind of got a little choppy there.
Yeah, it wasn't a perfect routine, but I'd give you a 9.7.
I'd love to know how many people in my chair have to read through that. I mean, that's not easy to do.
I always thought when you were doing it on the radio, you were doing I thought they sped up the sound.
That's what I thought. Chevrolet.
Yeah. But they don't. They're not speeding up the sound. No. When you do that, when I hear it on the radio, I thought, oh, that's cute. They speed up the sound. No, they don't.
I'm sure I could figure out how to do it, but it's more fun to do it the way I do it.
Yeah, couldn't you just speed it up the sound?
Yeah. I like the challenge.
Okay.
Odds and ends, headline 5. How about our boy, Coach Pat Fitzgerald?
What a story.
He got a clean bill of health after after a terrible situation he was dealt that cost him almost everything. And they found no wrongdoings. His name's been cleared, and he's going to get a lot of money, and he's going to be coaching pretty quick now.
Hold on a second.
And you never heard one person ever say Pat Fitzgerald is a bad guy, by the way, ever.
No, I'm trying to wrestle with you a little bit here. I don't know that I'd say he was exonerated. He settled a wrongful termination lawsuit. He settled it. He didn't get $130 million. He settled it. Okay. He himself he said, this is what he said. He had no knowledge of hazing ever occurring. He did say this, Sean, in his statement. Through discovery, I learned that some hazing did occur in the football program at Northwestern. I'm extremely disappointed that members of the team engaged in this behavior and that no one reported it to me so that I could have alerted the athletic department. Not fully exonerated. He didn't even exonerate himself.
Here's the thing, though. They had to get this settled because if it went to like an open court case,
Couldn't do it.
It'd be a disaster.
No, and he said a lot of the reason he settled, and this has been going on for how long? I mean, since 2023, since summer of 2023 is when, remember, it was breaking then. The story was breaking then. He says he settled it because of the stress on his family, which I totally understand.
You'd be talking about it every day.
Yeah.
But now, where's he going to go next? And
well, his agent comes out with a statement and says that Coach Fitzgerald is eager to resume his coaching career. 50 years old.
So 2 jobs with him immediately get my attention. Iowa and Wisconsin.
100.
And both are in pretty close proximity to Chicago. Madison, in the part of Chicago he lived in, is very close.
Yep.
And you just wonder if things don't go right for Luke Fickell, where that all heads. But
Iowa seems more likely to me. And if you're a Nebraska fan, you don't want my interpretation is you don't want Fitzgerald at Iowa.
Yeah, you want Beth Mowins trying to, or
whatever. I don't think
I call it Beth Mowins. Gosh dang it.
The Iowa AD.
You want Iowa.
Nobody cares about the name, Sean. Dang it. It's okay.
You want Iowa to try to be Steve Peterson and try to hire someone that is going to reshape the image of Iowa.
Wow.
And have it not go well.
Right.
Because what Fitzgerald is he's not accustomed to getting 4 and 5 star guys. He creates program culture. He's a great elite leader.
Mm-hmm.
He'd be a home run fit for Iowa.
He's a home run fit. Now, the one thing that you'd have to battle is their AD, and we won't try to name that AD. The one thing you'd have to battle, you know what he was in his last 2 years, Sean? 4-20. How much of a battle would that be?
Beth Getz, sorry.
Beth Getz.
I call her Beth Mowins. God dang it.
She's a play-by-play person.
I know. Well, where Beth Mowins is.
Sean.
Sorry, Beth Getz.
Apologies to the Mowins family.
And the Getz family.
Anybody else you need to apologize to? Hey, he ended with a whimper. Fitzgerald, 4-20 was his record in the last 2 years. Now you have to balance that out. He went 110-101, so 9 games over 500 in 17 seasons, and twice made the Big Ten championship game at a place that's hard. It's hard to do it there.
Did the Bears and the Packers both go after him?
Packers for sure. I don't know about the Bears. Probably though. The Packers, his name was linked there. Yeah, he's a guy that could probably get an NFL head coaching job. But yeah, I'd watch Iowa. I wonder if PJ Fleck would leave, if Minnesota would jump in there, I don't know. I know this. Well, go ahead.
I think he's better, though, at a job that doesn't require you to recruit the high dollar players, like a developmental culture guy.
I think so. I tend to agree with you, but I don't think I'd rule him out in another sort of job,
because maybe he is good at recruiting those guys. He just never could do it at Northwestern.
Right, exactly. Now, the one thing I'd add to this conversation is think about the guys that have jumped in the ring for head coaching jobs of late, Sean. John Gruden, Pat Fitzgerald, Ed Orgeron, Jimbo Fisher. Those are 4 mega names. Am I wrong?
No, yeah. It's a lot of guys probably seeing how much money these coaches are making, and they want to get back in it.
They want to get back in. A couple of those guys, like Jimbo's only 59. He's got a lot of time left.
Those are the kind of guys, so they're not going to take the Florida Atlantic job.
No. Hell no. No. But you notice what they did? Season's about to begin. Let's get my name out there.
It'd be like you trying to take a job at a small town newspaper. Just
right.
Those guys are only going to take legit gigs.
Right. but they got their names out there, so ADs have them on their list. Like,
what about Urban Meyer? What about Nick? What about Nick Saban?
No. Saban has said since that McElroy flare up at SEC Media Days, Saban has said, I don't know where he got that. I'm not going back into coaching. Saban has been adamant about he's not going back.
Yeah, I don't know why he would want to tarnish his legacy.
Yeah. Take some tough job, get some. I don't know what we're
take the Mississippi State job.
For God's sake. No.
Pull your hair out to go 8-4.
And I'd say that I don't think Meyer's interested from what I've heard. But it's those four guys. Those four guys are big enough for me to watch, right?
All right. Iowa State, Kansas State, Dublin, Ireland, Aviva Stadium this weekend. Going to be a great way to kick off the opening weekend. Kansas, Fresno State down in Lawrence as well. The brand new stadium opens up, but I am really intrigued about Kansas State, Iowa State in the stadium that we were just at a couple years ago.
Yeah, those two teams are legit contenders to win that league, both of them. So that is big. Kansas State, interestingly, had some turnover issues last year with their quarterback Avery
Johnson,
and Iowa State was I think Iowa State was plus 13 in turnovers last year. I'd still give Kansas State a slight edge in that game. Kansas Fresno State's a big game. They're going to open that new renovated stadium in Lawrence against Fresno State. And Sean, that's not the Fresno State that we were covering when they played Nebraska. They're not. I don't think Fresno.
But Matt Entz is their head coach.
Yeah, I don't think Fresno State's very good.
You got the former North Dakota State head coach Matt Entz.
Yeah, Kansas should be okay. Lee Sterling came on my morning show and picked them only by 10, though. Kansas by 10 over Fresno State.
So that's one to watch. Then finally, volleyball. Man, it's going to be quite a weekend in Lincoln with Nebraska playing here twice. They play Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
Creighton's in town here, I believe, playing Penn State.
Yep.
I mean, this is, if you're a volleyball fan, this is the place to be.
Yeah, and if you don't want to go downtown, it's Fox Sports and FS1's got these matches on. I mean, it's a mega tournament, and Nebraska, as we've established on previous shows, is absolutely loaded. Number one team in the country, and it's an exciting team.
Well, there's an analyst for the Big Ten, and she ranked the players in the league, and 3 of the top 4 are on Nebraska's roster in the whole league.
Really. And this is a strong. I mean, I know we sound like volleyball laymen, which we are. Strong league. I mean, you have 3 of the top 4 players in the Big Ten.
Bergen Riley was 1, Andy Jackson 2,
and Harper.
She had Harper 4.
Oh, really?
Harper, and then I forget where Alec was, but she was like around 10, 11-ish, 12.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they're loaded.
Yeah.
Essentially 3 or 4 first team all Big Ten level players. I think this is one of the best rosters Nebraska volleyball's ever had.
Yeah, and this is a big deal down here, Sean. I don't know if you've noticed what they're doing. Like, they're going to march the teams into PBA on a red carpet before, tonight on Friday night. They're going to march.
We better get out of the parking lot before it gets crazy down here. It's right next to our office.
7 of the 8 teams will do it. I don't know which team's not doing it. 7 of the 8 teams are doing it. They have all kinds of events scheduled down here in the Haymarket that are associated with this tournament. They're doing it right.
Yeah, I walked down to grab a burger at a restaurant for lunch, just grabbed one, and there are people already down here for it. I mean, It's starting to people to spill in early.
Yep, it's going to be quite a to-do down there. Abby will have all the coverage.
So next week, by the way, we switch back to our regular in-season schedule. We will have Husker Online show next week on Monday. Headlines is Wednesday.
Okay.
And then Thursday's the game. So we'll have our post-game show late Thursday, early Friday morning.
Okay.
So 3 shows a week still, just kind of a different way to make the sausage as we get into the season. So,
Sean, that was an interesting show.
Yeah, we kind of went all kind of into fall camp, final Flashback Friday.
I mean, the Rule press conference, your head was spinning.
Well, he just
48 minutes. Was it 48
to
minutes?
transcribe that would be a chore.
Yeah. Good luck. How long would it take you? Just be honest.
3-4 hours.
Yeah, I was going to say 5 for me.
With elite cranium focus.
No Carly.
No, yeah. I don't way off the. I don't think like the younger journalists do their own transcribing ever anymore. I just think they try to rely on like those AI apps, but they're not always accurate.
They scare me. I've seen too many instances where there's critical parts of a sentence that are not right.
I still have the old school like digital recorder, and you do as well.
Yeah.
But most people, like, I'm not a big use the phone guy either.
No, I'm not either. I mean, I don't transcribe the whole thing.
No, you can't.
No, it'd take you too long. It'd be too time consuming. I just know where the key ones are and go to that. I mean, that's
you got to mark them. Yeah.
Yeah. And then what I do with Rule, though, I think people semi-interested, Sean. I do go back and listen a second time because you know why? Because you miss a lot with Rule. When you're sitting there in the moment, there's a lot of stuff that kind of gets by you. Then when you listen a second time, it's kind of like, oh, God, he said that.
Yeah, he covered a lot of ground,
Yeah.
and it's going to be a great, great week as tens of thousands of Nebraska fans make their way down to Kansas City, and we'll be down there as well. Looking forward to that. Back Monday, Husker Online show. For Steve Sipple, I'm Sean Callahan. Thanks for joining us. Have a great weekend.